Liam, here's a look at some of your first run at Magic Slalom up at the top here. Just for comparison purposes, I put you up against the girls winner, Emily. Didn't have a whole lot of boys video from the top because you all went together. But anyway, she beat Miles by 8 seconds, so not a bad person to compare to anyway. Coming through here, I mean, we know it was really tight, really offset, and this is kind of, somewhat repeating what we've been talking about all year, that, you tend to put your skis up on edge by kind of dumping the hip in with a counter rotation somewhat early in the turn and get bent over at the waist, and that really locks you up, as we've been saying. Kind of locked in there, hard to really move. You can see her just more ankles and knees and kind of stacked up, and you can see that she can kind of move in any direction she really wanted to if need be. Really hard to pressure the outside ski when we're in that big counter, and it sort of locks you up and you unwind it right around there. She comes through pretty comfortable, and a nice pole plant. Really nice pole plant. Forward, vertical. It's a good pole plant. You didn't really have one. So, need a pole plant as we've been talking. Again, it's going to be kind of repeating. You can see you're, dumping the hip in, all hip. She's going to be a whole lot more ankles and knees, rolling the skis up on edge, standing on the outside ski. Looks like you're kind of getting a little bit of this turn started on the inside ski there. Kind of can see pretty good bend to the inside ski there, and you eventually move it right now to the outside, but it's a little fall away turn we talked about, icy, and that thing just, went on you, moving to the outside ski all at once instead of kind of building pressure on the outside from when we intersect rise line through fall line, and your pressure, you pressured that outside ski really after fall line when the forces are more difficult, particularly on a fall away turn, for sure. She's got a little pole plant there, and you put the pole down, I will say, but not sure that's qualifies as a pole plant necessarily, but you kind of, because of that skid before, kind of, maybe a little bit low now, and had to kind of just chuck them around, so that can happen. She come through ankles and knees in a really balanced position, pole plant. And that's not really a pole plant. I mean, you may hit the snow with your tip, but it's behind you. Again, the counter and bending over at the waist and dumping the hip in really locks you up. She's going to have a whole lot more ankles and knees. You can see her outside ski really bent. Inside, not nearly as much. She's on the outside ski. And you can see a pretty good bend on your inside ski, right, and outside. So you're skiing. You're 2-footed, right, and a lot of pressure down here, and I don't know, just sort of sent you into the back seat. You can see her, really balanced, hands out in front the entire time. Your hands moving back, and when you pressure a lot under the gate and release it, it's going to have that rebound, the ski going from reverse camber to camber, and it's going to just shoot you. All right, so too much pressure under the gate, and it kind of sets you, sets you back a little bit, but so let's see, we get you up. See if we can get Emily. I think is the same gate. She's got a nice, again, pole plant. And you don't really, so we need a pole plant. We know that. You know, it just sort of looks like, again, you're on the inside ski. You know, you can see the width sort of develop, widening right there, losing the outside a little bit, and then you get to it late. So, got to be outside ski to outside ski, right? I want to try to keep a consistent width throughout of the skis, throughout the turn, transition, feeling kind of widening. Let's see if we can get her. Again, kind of a widening of the feet. And you can just sort of look and see. You just look like you're, a little bit in the back seat there. So, again, hands a little back, right? We got to think slalom, hands out in front, elbows in front of the body, the entire time, right? I think we're back together here. Better pole plant there. Look at you go, man. You can do it. I knew you could. Look at that. Nice pole plant. The flush, it can happen. You just jumped in. Unfortunately, just too early, right? Right there. And hooked. So really proud of you hiking. Awesome job. You never gave up. That was awesome that you did that. Appreciate it. We talked about that going in. My man Jim Sullivan over there telling you which gate, which, thanks to him. I think you could have figured it out, but he helped you out. Thank you, Jim. So we got a little bit more of this. And now when the course started to kind of straighten out, although it was still turning, now you're really nice and square down the hill, less counter. That's a good job. So it seems like it's maybe just in the bigger turns that are really offset that you get into that locked position with some counter. Still missing kind of that pole plant. You can see Emily down here. Pole plant. And you don't really have that. Stubbies, there's one. Stubbies, tall pole, there's no difference. Free skiing, slalom, square down the hill, pole plant. Let's try to use ankles and knees as we've been talking all year. Not dumping the hip in. We do move, ankles and knees first, move the hip in when our speeds warrant it, right? We're not going to counter as much. And if we do, counter, we've already gone through this. I don't need to repeat myself. We do need some counter at times for sure.